All right, let's dive into a really powerful story today. It's a moral fable that comes from the green hills of Luganda, and it's all about talent, temptation, and the terrible, terrible price of greed. At the very heart of this story is a single, stark choice. You have a man with this incredible gift, a beautiful skill with wood. He could use it to nurture life, to build things for his community, or he could use it to profit from their end. And that's exactly where our story begins. So let's set the scene. Picture a peaceful, quiet village. In this village lived a carpenter named Senyonga, and by all accounts, this man was a true master of his craft. His hands could shape wood into things that were both beautiful and incredibly useful. His talent was just extraordinary in its range. He could build the beautiful door that welcomed you home, the sturdy stool you rested on, the comfortable bed where you dreamed. But he also built the strongest coffins. His work touched every single part of life and of death. But here's the turning point. Inside this incredibly skilled craftsman, a shadow started to grow. A dangerous thought took root in his heart, and it was a thought that would twist his amazing gift into a weapon against the very people he lived with. And this was it. This was the single, chilling thought that changed everything. He started looking at his neighbor's losses not as tragedies, but as business opportunities. This one idea would set in motion a devastating chain of events. And he didn't just wish for it, he acted on it. First, he totally stopped making useful furniture. No more beds, no more doors. He focused only on coffins. And then he took a truly wicked step. He started secretly spreading harmful herbs near the village's water and food supplies, creating his own customers. The effect was immediate, and it was catastrophic. A quiet sadness just fell over this once vibrant community as Senyonga's horrible plan began to work its terrible magic. The very life of the village just began to drain away. The sounds of joy, the laughter, the drumming, they were all replaced by fear and worry. A community that was once so alive with spirit was now just silenced by sorrow. First, it was the sickness. It began to spread like wildfire, this unnatural plague with no obvious cause. And of course, that sickness bred a deep, chilling fear as families huddled in their homes, terrified of who might be next. And all of that fear, it just led to silence. The lively culture, the heart of the village, simply died out. But the village elders, they started to notice the strange patterns. They started asking questions. Why was there so much illness, so suddenly? And how was it that Senyonga, the carpenter, always seemed to have a coffin ready at a moment's notice? The questions and the suspicion began to mount. Do you know what they say? Evil deeds can't stay hidden in the dark forever. And in this case, the community's suspicion was about to give way to a shocking discovery. The truth was finally going to be brought into the light. And the hero of this moment was a young girl. On the first day, she bravely followed Senyonga and saw him hide these strange herbs by the stream. The very next day, she went right to the elders and told them what she saw. And by the third day, they confronted him. Her courage is what set the stage for justice. So when they confronted him, what do you think Senyonga did? Of course he lied. He denied everything, but the evidence was undeniable. They had the girl's testimony, they had the hidden herbs, his whole web of deceit just collapsed, and his guilt was laid bare for everyone to see. And so we come to the resolution and to the powerful lesson that's really at the heart of this entire story. Senyonga would now have to pay the price for his greed, and it was a price far, far greater than any money he had made. And look at this contrast. With the herbs gone, the village began to heal. Laughter and music slowly came back, but Senyonga's fate? Total isolation. He was cast out, banned from his trade, and left completely alone with nothing but his shame. This story leaves us with some really clear and powerful lessons. It shows that greed is a poison, and it harms the greedy person just as much as their victims. It reminds us that truth will always find a way out, and that real wealth isn't money, it's community, it's kindness, it's helping others. Ultimately, a good heart is way more valuable than gold. And that leaves us with a final question to think about. In a world that so often measures success in numbers and dollars, this story asks us to just reconsider. What is the true measure of a rich life? Thank you for joining me for this explainer.